Is there anybody who would like to introduce themselves? Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandhavika Mataji, Danvat Pranam, my Danvat Pranams to all the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Shri Gurudev and Gauranga. Thank you, Priti Mataji, for so beautiful recitation of the Bhagavad Gita, and all glories to you, Mataji, for all your services. Thank you so much. This is Sushmita from Canada.
Hare Krishna, Sushmita Mataji, Danat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for your sweet association in all the calls. Welcome to the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Vijita Gandharvika Mataji, Danvat Pranam to you and all Vaishnava, Danvat Bal Vrinda, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev ki Jai, Vrinda.
Hare Krishna, Vrinda Gopika Mataji, Danvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and giving your association. Welcome to the call. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, is there anybody who would like to introduce themselves? We have a couple more minutes. Then I'll start the recording. Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha conference call. Today we are very fortunate to have Her Grace Radhika Kasturi Mataji to enlighten us on the topic of Sri Caitanya Bhagavata Madhy Khanda, chapter 12, 21 to 31 verses. Before I hand over the call to Mataji, I would like to read Srila Prabhupada's quote for today. Innocent men, women, they are kept in that factory simply for livelihood. A little work will provide his needs. Nature has given so much facility, they can grow little food anywhere. The cows are there in the pasturing ground. Take milk and live peacefully. Why you open factories? New Vrindavan, June 26, 1976. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, Radhika Kasturi Mataji, Dandat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Nice to see you after a long time, Mataji. Very happy to have you on the call. I now hand over the call to you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you for your valuable time.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thanks. And thank you everyone for joining the call today. Appreciate it. Hare Krishna. Om Adhyana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapatantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuda Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parichana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurat Vishe Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Namaiva Kevalam Kalav Nashteva Khatir Anyata. Hare Krishna. Thank you everyone for joining today's call with Bhakti Sangha. I really appreciate your time. And it's a very, very interesting episode that is going on. And I'm more than happy and fortunate and blessed to be able to speak on this topic of Caitanya Bhagavata Madhy Khanda, chapter 12. So without any further ado, we can get started here, devotees. I think we had a beautiful session by Adi Gadadhar Prabhu, His Grace Adi Gadadhar Prabhu yesterday. And today I'm continuing the verses from where he left off yesterday. So dear devotees, so now we are talking about in this chapter glorification of Nityananda Prabhu. Such a fortune, isn't it, to be able to hear and listen to the glories of Nityananda, without whom our bhakti will not sprout. So let's get started with the 21st verse of the 12th chapter of Madhya Khanda. Chaitanya Rase Nityananda Mahamag samati, ye bhalena ye karena sarvatra samati. Let's go verse by verse, understand the translation, commentary, and maybe I can talk about it a little bit and then move on to the next verse. So that will be how we will be doing the verses for Caitanya Bhagavat today. All right. English translation, it says, the most magnanimous Nityananda is absorbed in the ecstatic love for Chaitanya. So whatever he speaks or does is always approved by the Lord. Again, it's ecstatic love we are talking about, dear devotees. When we are in sadhana bhakti, we are not able to understand what that ecstatic love means. But we have this most magnanimous Nityananda who is absorbed in the ecstatic love for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and whatever he does or speak is always approved by the Lord uh, because of his prema. Again, if you were to see, we know that when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, he appeared along with Nityananda, who was not, although born in the same family, he is an expansion of Balaram. That is, Vishwarup appeared directly as his older brother of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but the original form of Balaram appeared as Nityananda, who was older brother in another way. Okay, so he was the God, I mean, Chaitanya, I mean, in the sense, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he accepted the invitation of whom? He accepted the initiation from Ishwara Puri, who accepted his initiation from Madhavendra Puri. And Nityananda Prabhu, if you look at him, he is the direct disciple of Madhavendra Puri. Therefore, he was the elder god brother. Okay. God uncle of Lord Chaitanya, we could say. That's what His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj quotes. Therefore, he had a superior position. But what was Lord Nityananda's constant meditation? So we see he has a superior position because he was a disciple of Madhavendra Puri. If you look at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he accepted initiation from Ishwara Puri, who got his initiation from Madhavendra Puri. In this way, we understand, yes, Nityananda Prabhu is the elder god brother. But when you look at Nityananda Prabhu's meditation, what is it? It's always nothing but simply service for Lord Chaitanya. So when you look at him, there was no servant who could equal Lord Nityananda Prabhu, because he had understood the most intimate meditation of Lord's heart, which was to deliver, to divine mercy of, to deliver means to deliver the mercy of the holy name to everyone and to anyone without discrimination. This was there in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's heart, and who understood his heart? It was Lord Nityananda Prabhu. Lord Nityananda Prabhu, who was Balaram himself, was such a servant that although he was completely renounced and he was just living like a sannyasi, one day Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told him, yes, you should marry. And he asked himself, oh, I should marry? He understood why he should marry. Because Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is a sannyasi, right? He had to uphold a very, very, very high standard being a sannyasi. And there were certain places that if he went, he would be criticized for going there. So what about those people? They have to be also delivered. Shouldn't they be given an opportunity to surrender to the holy name? And hence, Lord Nityananda Prabhu, he accepted the position of Grihastha so that nobody would criticize him wherever he went. In fact, he appeared as an avadut. And for that purpose, why he appeared as an avadut? That is just to simply serve the Lord. So this is a little bit about our Lord Nityananda Prabhu. Let's get on to the verses, dear devotees. Prabhu bhale kakani kaupina tomara deha iha bhada icha achaye amara. Translation says, Lord said, give me a piece of your kaupina. I have a desire to have it. Imagine, dear devotees, Lord is asking for Nityananda Prabhu's kaupina, right? And why he wants it? He wants because he has a desire to have it. See, the love, the ecstatic love that Nityananda Prabhu has for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not one-sided, right? That is the speciality about devotional service. When you love someone, when you love Lord Krishna, when you love your spiritual master, the reciprocation is mutual. Reciprocation is going to come to you. Of course, we do not anticipate, but we keep doing our hard work. We keep doing the sadhana with sincerity. One day, the love will sprout, and this love matures, after which reciprocation comes. And even during this period of sadhana, the mercy flows. It's just that we have to have a hand which doesn't have holes to hold it. The mercy, when it comes through, if we are not making offenses, then we are able to hold that mercy, isn't it? Anyways, coming back to the commentary by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. What is he saying? While traveling to the holy places with one sannyasi, Lord Nityananda formally accepted the principle of bearing the brahmacharya kaupina. Mahaprabhu expressed his desire to take that kaupina, which is again a sign of brahmachari. The wearing of kaupina entails covering the lower part of one's body with a minimum required cloth. Persons who are intoxicated by material enjoyment engage in deceitfulness in the name of civilization and declare the absence of simplicity of gentle manliness by dressing opulently. In order to stop dressing and eating opulently, which are aimed at maintaining adultery, the acceptance of kaupina is an indicative of the greatness of the ashrama dharma, that is the occupational duty of a particular class. Again, a specific class, the brahmacharya class, how they adhere to this principle is being clarified in the commentary by our acharya, right? And what is the desire of Mahaprabhu? It is desire of Mahaprabhu to beg that kaupina from our Lord Nityananda Prabhu. So imagine the greatness of Mahaprabhu and our ecstatic love that is given by Lord Nityananda Prabhu to Mahaprabhu, right? Now, if you look at Nityananda Prabhu's mission, what is his mission? It is to glorify the holy name. He was preaching to the fallen, sinful class of people. We all know, we've all heard the story of Jagai and Madai, the most sinful creatures in all of the creation. Even Yamaraj, he could not keep track of the quantity of sins that were done by Jagai and Madai. But Lord Nityananda, he is very anxious. If I can make these two people Vaishnavas by invoking a holy name in their life, then I can do greatest service to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I can glorify Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in such a way that the whole world will understand him. And he went to them, of course. He was willing to be verbally abused, blasphemed, physically assaulted. And even while standing with his whole body and his whole dress drenched in blood, he didn't care about anything but the service of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Oh, Jagai and Madai, my dear brothers, I don't mind you hitting on my head. I really don't mind. I don't mind you going to kill me. I only mind that you are going to suffer the consequences of the sin that you perform. Please take the name of Krishna. Take the name of Gauranga. Bhaja Gauranga, Kaha Gauranga, Laha Gaurangeri Name, Ye Jana Gauranga Bhaje, Say Amara Pranare. But he knew, yes, see, we have here Radha and Krishna both appeared in the form of Sri Gaurasundara. Sri Chaitanya, Radha Krishna, Nahi Anya. Radha Krishna, they have appeared in one form of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. So if they chant the name of Gauranga, if they are going to worship Gauranga, if they are going to meditate on Gauranga, if they become the devotees of Gauranga, then they are all automatically worshipping with the pure hearts without any misconceptions. Whom are they worshipping? They are worshipping Radha and Krishna of Vrindavan, who's non-different. So this was Nityananda Prabhu's genius, how to bring Goloka Vrindavan through the mercy of the name of Gauranga. And he would just go to lowest places to the extent that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself would clarify any doubts that may have in the hearts of the devotees. He said, if Nityananda Prabhu is going to the house of a prostitution, into a brothel, into a bar, you should know that he is going to deliver the souls there. Fallen souls are there in that particular spot, and that is why he is going there. This is just to clear the doubts in that may sprout in the hearts of the devotees. He is spotless. Gauranga Mahaprabhu says he is spotless in his character. And Nityananda Prabhu, he was willing to accept this household life. He was willing to accept this brutality, this blasphemy, this condemnation. He understood, this is how I can best serve my master. Of course, I'm ready to take it. Nityananda Prabhu, therefore, we understand he's Balaram, he's the original Guru. And he is showing by his example how to be a servant of the Guru, how to be a servant of the Lord, to be willing to accept any inconvenience, any kind of humiliation, any kind of pain, even up to the point of death. And this would help serve the mission of Guru Maharaj. So I'm ready to take it. No problem. To serve the mission of the Lord, yes, I will take this. Who can be a best master, dear devotees? The best master is the best servant. This is what Maharaj, Radhanath, His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj says. The best master is the best servant. How is it? That is what is shown by the example of Nityananda Prabhu. Because it is said that the best master is simply the one who is the best servant also. The master thinks of himself as never a master. Master thinks himself as a servant. And even God thinks himself as a servant. Krishna, if you look at him, he has the supreme enjoyment. But what is his enjoyment? Simply giving enjoyment to his devotees is his enjoyment. Therefore, in the spiritual realm of consciousness, if you look at it, everyone is a servant. Right? Everyone is a servant. No one is a master. But someone takes the position of a master just to serve by showing how to serve. That is Lord Balram Tattva. Best master is the best servant. I really liked this point that His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj brought. And I just wanted to, of course, share it with all of you at Bhakti Sangha. Okay, that is the 22nd verse, dear devotees. Now, moving on to the 23rd verse. Eta bhali prabhu thara kaupina aniya, chota chari chiri lena aneka kariya. After speaking in this way, Lord Nityananda Prabhu, Lord Nityananda's kaupina, Lord took Lord Nityananda's kaupina and tore it into many small pieces. Again, this is to share it with all of the Vaishnavas. He kind of tore it into small pieces. Okay. Sakala Vaishnava Mandar le jane kani kari Prabhu tilena apane. God then personally distributed those pieces of kaupina, every one of the Vaishnavas. This is Mahaprabhu's mercy, isn't it? To get the prasad of a pure devotee of the Lord. If you are getting it, it shows that you are kind, you are definitely blessed. The mercy is flowing. And if we are not able to hold that mercy, then that means we have committed some offense. Right? So the Vaishnavas are so fortunate and so blessed to be receiving the Gopina from the hands of Mahaprabhu, dear devotees. This is the situation, or this is the scene that our Chaitanya Bhagavata is trying to capture. Imagine, there are many Vaishnavas, and Lord, he's so ecstatic, and he wants, and he's begging Nityananda Prabhu, please give me your Kaupina. And after he gives his Kaupina, what does he do? He just distributes this mercy to each and every Vaishnava that is assembled there. This is the scene setting of Chaitanya Bhagavat. Next verse, dear devotees, which is the 25th verse. Prabhu bhole ye vastra bandadhaha sabe shire anye rakhi thaya iha vanche yogeshware. The Lord said, tie this piece of cloth on your head. Speak of others. Even the greatest mystic yogis desire this. Tie this piece of cloth on your head, dear devotees. That is what Lord said. How valuable is this Kaupina? What a mercy, right? What a mercy that all the Vaishnavas who are assembled there, what a mercy they are getting. That too from the hands of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he says, what to speak of others, even the greatest mystic yogis, they desire this. This is the thing. Now, we all know uh, when you look at the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he appealed. I mean, Lord Nityananda Prabhu, if you look at him, although he is the Supreme Lord himself, he is appearing in the position of a devotee here. In fact, in Goloka Vrindavan, we must understand that Balaram, although he is Krishna himself, he is the Supreme Bhagavan. He eternally appears as a servant of Krishna in the form of Sankarsana, Anantasesh, he is Narayan's bed, he is his shoes, he is his umbrella. He is constantly simply trying to increase the pleasure of Lord Narayana. Of course, we also see Ram Leela in the form of Lakshman during Ram Leela. And Lakshman's only business, what was his business? That is to give pleasure for Lord Ram. When he went to Jarikan forest, Lakshman would not eat. He would not even sleep. You all heard from Monday's class about bits and pieces of stories from Ramayana. And similarly, the same Lakshman, the same Balaram has appeared as Sri Nityananda Prabhu. His life and soul and everything is nothing but pleasure of Sri Gaurasundara. He has no other ambition and no other mode in life. Therefore, Nityananda Prabhu is declared by all the acharyas to be the original spiritual master because he is the first expansion of Godhead. And he appears exclusively for what? Pleasure of Godhead. Although he is Krishna, he could accept the same position as Krishna, but he would never accept that position. Sometimes people, Balaram, he would never accept that position. If you look at, he also had his part in Rasalila. But Balaram never engaged in Rasalila for his enjoyment. This is the point. He simply came to Vrindavan to specify the gopis in the service of Krishna. Everything Balaramji did, everything Lakshmana did, everything Anantasesh does is exclusively for what? To satisfy and increase the enjoyment of Lord Krishna, Lord Ram, and Lord Narayana. Lord Nityananda Prabhu, he was in a very sublime mood. He, although was the supreme personality of Godhead, what did he take? He took the humble position of a servant, right? To satisfy Gaurasundara. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was Patita Pavana Avatar. That means he especially came here to claim the fallen souls and the sinful living beings. And there is nothing that satisfies Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu than distributing the love of Godhead to others. And that is what Bhakti Sangata does. Spreading this message of Godhead to everyone satisfies our Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. Therefore, Lord Nityananda Prabhu, he would go both banks of Ganges, he would approach every house, every town, every village, anybody individually with the folded palms come to the, obviously he would just fold his palms and go to them and plead them to chant the holy names of the Lord. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was preaching to chant the name of Krishna. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he told Nityananda Prabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, you go and spread the glories and glories of chanting of the holy names of Lord Krishna. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he had full realization. Sri Chaitanya Radha Krishna nahi anya. That he had this understanding that yes, Radha and Krishna have both in the combined singular form has come as Sri Gaurasundara Mahaprabhu. Therefore, Nityananda Prabhu, he understood that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so merciful. Therefore, let me convince everyone to worship Gaura Sundara, to chant the name of Gauranga. Whoever is doing this, that person is my life and soul. if they worship Gaurasundara, if they worship Gaurasundara Mahaprabhu, then they will automatically get the love of Krishna. Automatically, they are going to get the love of Vrajadam. So Nityananda Prabhu, wherever he would go, he would just sing Bhajo Gauranga, Kaho Gauranga, Layo Raho Gauranga, Namera, like that. Worship Gauranga, chant the name of Gauranga, take the mercy of Gauranga. Anyone who worships this Mahaprabhu, they are my life and soul. So he would plead in this way wherever he would go. And if someone was hard hearted, then even one, for them, he would give the embodiment of love and compassion. He would just beg them, take the name of Gauranga, take the name of Krishna. If they refuse, then Nityananda Prabhu, what he would do is he would go to their legs and hands. He would just beg, I beg you, don't reject what I'm saying. Do not spoil your human form of life. Take this name of Gauranga. Imagine the Supreme Personality of Godhead just going and begging in people's feet, hands and feet. Imagine that. Is it possible? Even with our ego, we are not able to say sorry to someone because our ego hurts us. Oh, why should I say sorry to someone? Right? This is kind of the egoistic mentality, the material mentality that people of Kali Yuga have. But looking at the position of our Lord Nityananda Prabhu and what he did to people, really devotees, it's just touching everybody's heart. Listening to Chaitanya Bhagavat, it just purifies your consciousness because Lord is giving us an example how to be humble, how to get off your ego. Because we identify ourselves with the body, we identify ourselves with the qualities of the mind, and that is the problem, dear devotees. We should always be in this consciousness of being the servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord. But whenever that consciousness takes apart, that is when we face the real problems in life. If you look at it, that is when we become angry. That is when we talk whatever we are not supposed to. All this comes because we don't put ourselves in the mood of a servant. Anyways, so this is how Nityananda Prabhu begs. Of course, if you look at Sri Krishna, he killed the wicked demons. He cut off their heads with the Sudarshan Chakra. That was his mercy. In this way, people who have been killed by Krishna, they have attained a mukti. Sri Ram, with a sharpened bow and arrows, he would tear the hearts of the asuras. In this way, they attained mercy. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his astra was what? His astra was the weapon of holy name. He would give the pure love of Godhead to anyone who would accept it. So God himself is at your feet, begging you, rolling in the dust with the tears in his eyes, waiting anxiously that you also take up the name of Krishna. This is Nityananda Prabhu. Simply take the name of Gauranga. So if you look at Nityananda Prabhu, this is where we find an ultimate expression, the supreme mercy of God. Lord Nityananda Prabhu, because of this demeanor, he was converting millions and millions of people wherever he went. He would go to towns, he would go to cities, he would go to villages. Then he will transform that entire atmosphere where everyone is joyfully chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Chanting and dancing in ecstasy, in sublime ecstasy. This is what was the result of our Lord Nityananda Prabhu's mercy. Now, moving on to the 26th verse. Nityananda prasadi se haya Vishnu bhakti Jenipa Krishnera Nityananda Purna Shakti. Simply by the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, one obtains devotional service of Vishnu. Know it for certain that Nityananda Prabhu's full potency Krishna. Now, as you all can understand, Nityananda Prabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, how he is the full potency of Krishna. I'll talk about it a little bit in brief after we go through the commentary and a few verses from now. Okay, so simply, so the translation says, simply by the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, one attains devotional service of Vishnu. Know it for certain that Nityananda is the full potency of Krishna. The commentary says, Mahaprabhu said, you should know Sri Nityananda Prabhu as the complete potency of Lord Krishna. He is the topmost among the servants of Krishna, and only by his mercy can one achieve the devotion to Vishnu. He is the form of Vishnu presiding over the Sandhini potency. Although he is Lord Vishnu himself, he nevertheless serves the Supreme Lord Vishnu. He serves the origin of all with Vishnu Tattvas, and only by his mercy is the living entity's propensity for worshipping the Lord Hari gets awakened. In this form, as the younger sister of Radharani, in his form as the younger sister of Radharani, Sri Nityananda Prabhu nourishes the conjugal mellows. Unless one takes the shelter under the shade of Lord Nityananda, it will be very difficult to approach Radha and Krishna. If one wants to enter into the dancing party of Radha and Krishna, he must firmly catch hold of the lotus feet of Nityananda Prabhu. As the supreme Jagat Guru, Nityananda Prabhu alone is the origin of Guru Tattva. In this regards, to the devotee, Jagat Guru, the spiritual master, is an incarnation of Nityananda Prabhu, Sri Nityananda Prabhu, who is the manifestation of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The spiritual master is the most dear to Lord Krishna because like Sri Nityananda Prabhu, he is also a manifestation of Sri Chaitanya, and he is renowned to be as good as Nityananda. And dear devotees, that is why spiritual masters are our life and soul. Only those who have love can give love to us, right? How can the love be awakened? It can come from a person who has that love, who's seen that love. And when we hear from them and when we get the mercy of them through the form of service, we should happily take it and do it to the fullest satisfaction with dedication and devotion as much as possible. That opportunity is just not an opportunity that you can take it for granted. That opportunity is an opportunity for life, opportunity of what you can say. It's a treasure of your life. And with sincerity and dedication and devotion, when we take up that service and do the service with the right attitude and the right mindset, then we get more mercy. Again, follow the same principle without committing an offense. Sincerely follow through orders of your spiritual master in performing another service to him. In this way, we gradually progress. The key here is offense. No offense to any Vaishnava or anybody for that matter. And that comes with the right consciousness. That comes with the study of Shastras. That comes when you pay attention to Shastras, what it says. Right? This is very important, dear devotees. The spiritual master is the most dear to Lord Krishna because he is Nityananda, he is manifestation of Chaitanya, and he is renowned to be as good as Nityananda. Now, the travelers on the path of devotional service, this is there is a contrast here that is being talked about. Please listen carefully. The travelers on the path of devotional service do not accept the identification of Nityananda's family through seminal consideration. The non-devotee smartas who are averse to the service of Vishnu attribute such unreasonable propositions to the family of Nityananda. But the devotees of the Lord are completely against it, right? The family of Nityananda is based on disciplic succession. It is not based on seminal succession. Very important point, dear devotees, that our Acharya is trying to clarify here. Please note that. Many ordinary villagers who were disciples of Veerabhadra Prabhu consider themselves as belonging to the family of Sri Nityananda. So it's not the seminal consideration that matters, it is the disciplic succession that matters. Okay, dear devotees. So this is the point, and we have understood that, of course, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the original Jagat Guru, and our spiritual master is an incarnation of Nityananda Prabhu, who is the manifestation of Sri Chaitanya. That's another important point that we learn from the book. Hope you're all clear so far. The 27th verse. Let's go there. कृष्णेर द्वितीया नित्यानंद भाई नाही संगी सक सायन भूषण बंधु भाई. Nityananda, he is the second manifestation of Lord Krishna. He serves as his companion, friend, pet, ornaments, well-wisher, and his brother. Here, the commentary of Sri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura, it says, Krishna's second manifestation, Sri Baladev Prabhu, is Gaura Sundara's second manifestation, Nityananda Prabhu. Lord Krishna is one without a second, and Lord Nityananda is the second manifestation. Nityananda is inseparably related to the absolute personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. He is the companion of Gauranga. He is a friend of Gauranga. He is the bed of Gauranga. He is the carrier of Gauranga. He is the ornament of Gauranga and relative of Gauranga in the form of sister of his elder brother. In the form of his elder brother. He's a relative of Gauranga in the form of his elder brother. I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Now, when you speak of Vishnu Tattva, Balaram's presence is very important, right? Krishna's to Bhagavan Swayam. That's what is described in Srimad Bhagavatam, that Krishna is the absolute form of the absolute truth. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajam. He's the Adi Purusha. He's the original person. Now, when Krishna, in the spiritual world of Goloka, when he wants to enjoy the transcendental Leela, what happens? First, he expands himself to a Vaibhava Prakash as Baladev. Baladev is the original servitor of Godhead. He's Krishna himself that appears to serve Krishna. How he's appearing to serve Krishna? You may have this question. Yes, there is an answer. That is what is mentioned here. We talked about Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu is companion of Gauranga, friend of Gauranga, bed of Gauranga, carrier of Gauranga, ornaments of Gauranga, relative of Gauranga in the form of his elder brother. Balaram, how about him? He's also serving in the five rasas. Right? He takes part in all the five rasas intimately with Sri Krishna. Now, what are the five rasas we are talking about? Give me an example. Yes, I'm here to give you an example. As Shantaras, it is Balaramji who expands himself through his energy to create Goloka Vrindavan. The spiritual world of Goloka is the expansion of energy of Balaram. Right? He's the existential potency, the Sandini Sakti. The land, which is all the surroundings, is simply offering this most loving service of Sri Balaram, Lord Balaram. Balaram expands himself through his energy as Krishna's crown, as Krishna's flute, as Krishna's slippers, as Krishna's clothes, as Krishna's ornament. It's Balaram himself appearing in these most wonderful forms. For what? Give pleasure and service to Lord Krishna and assist him in attracting the hearts of the living beings by his beautiful decorated forms. You see, we all know Krishna is all attractive, right? The supreme pleasure of the Lord, Lord Krishna, is to attract everyone's heart. So when Balaram appears as his most beautiful crown, most beautiful flute, most beautiful jewel, most beautiful golden colored dhoti, he assists Krishna by decorating his body in such a way, this attraction that people would have for Krishna becomes more attractive. So that he could attract the hearts of everyone. This is how our Balaramji is appearing in the Shantaras. Now, what about Dasiras? Whatever Balaram does is in the mood of a menial servant, simply trying to please Krishna, his brother. And of course, with Sakya, he appears as Krishna's friend. They wrestle together, they play together, they dance together, they herd the cows together, they argue together, they fight together. Who can do all this? Only a friend. All, again, the mood here, dear devotees, that is just to give pleasure for Lord Krishna. Just to supply, just to obviously give that service to Krishna. Give that service to the Lord. And now we understand Balramji is Krishna's elder brother. He also has this Vatsalya Rasa because he is the elder brother. He sometimes takes up that position. Hey, Krishna, what is this? It's too late. Let's go home. It's time to wake up, Krishna. It's your birthday. You cannot go out and play today. You must stay home. This is all coming from the Vatsalya Bhav. And sometimes in the forest, um, he would, when there was a danger, he'd be very protective like a parent to Lord Krishna. Because this is how an elder brother is supposed to be. Right? And in Madhurya Ras, in conjugal love, you see Balaram cannot directly take part in the Leela with Krishna because it's embarrassing, of course. When Krishna is dancing with those two gopis, it's embarrassing. For the elder brother to be there, who's kind of like a parent, he doesn't want to create that uncomfortable situation. So he expands himself as an Angamanjari. How clear, how clever Balaram is, isn't it? uh, so now, there is Balaram, of course. We all know out of respect, Balaram is very much afraid of Radharani because he knows what her relationship is with Krishna. So they more or less have their separate leelas in so many ways. But of course, Balaram still would want to assist in the loving affairs of Radha and Krishna. So he appears as Ananga Manjari, who appears to be Radharani's younger sister. And he lives in the same house as her. And he's the most confidential sister associate of Radharani. And he's constantly playing with Radharani, making all the wonderful arrangements for her to meet with Krishna. So in this way, if you look at Balaram, he provides services to Krishna in all the five primary rasas. And this is kind of very unique. We would think, yeah, if I have this one rasa, I cannot have another rasa. But with Balramji, he can have all the five rasas and provide just more pleasure to Krishna and Radharani. This is what is his role, dear devotees. So we should understand how blessed we are to be even able to hear about the glories of Nityananda Prabhu, to be able to uh, talk about him and to be able to relish this pastimes or relish this beautiful katha of Balaram and his glories and Nityananda Prabhu and his glories. It's just, I feel whenever we are given an opportunity to listen, it's just the mercy again. Because not everybody has this opportunity to listen. First, in Kali Yuga, people are so busy with materialistic endeavors, they may not have time. They may not have, even if they have the time, they may not have the mindset to listen. Even if they don't have, let's say, okay, they have the time, they have their mindset, but what understanding comes out of them, they may be totally opposite to what Shastras want them to understand or perceive them. So there could be humpty number of things that could happen because of which a devotee doesn't perceive what he's supposed to perceive. So, dear devotees, we should definitely be thankful for every day that our Bhakti Sangha is providing us with an opportunity to hear Krishna Katha, glorify Krishna, serve Krishna through the process of hearing Shravanam. Very, very important. Very, very important. Why? Because it transforms our consciousness. So it just transforms our consciousness subtly. We don't even know that it's happening, but it's happening. This is what is the power of Shravanam, hearing Krishna Katha. Now, 28th verse, dear devotees. Vedera agamya nityanandera charitra sarva jiva janaka rakshaka sarva metra. The characteristics of Nityananda Prabhu, they are incomprehensible to the Vedas. He is the origin, he is the protector, and he is the friend of all living entities. The characteristics of Nityananda are incomprehensible to the knowers of the Vedas. Coming from this Nityananda Prabhu, Nityananda, Sankarshana form of Vasudev in Mahavaikuntha, considered the followers of the Pancharatras is not Nityananda's partial identity. He is a self-manifested object. From him, Karnodakshay Vishnu, Karpodakshay Vishnu, and Kshirodakshay Vishnu float in the three oceans. The three Vishnus reside in Mahavaikuntha as Aniruddha, Pradyumna, Sankarshana, as the cause of both Vaikuntha and the material world. The form of Vishnu presiding over the Sandhini potency manifests Karnodakshay Vishnu, from whom all the occasional incarnations are manifested. Since the living entities who belong to the marginal energy of the Lord, they are manifested from Karnodaksha Vishnu. He is the father of all living entities. He is the maintainer of all living entities. He is the protector because he is the shelter of all the living entities. He is a friend. And Lord Nityananda Prabhu, he is the supreme controller, and the living entities are his separated parts. So this, dear devotees, as we mentioned, as it's explained, right? I mean, for the purpose of creation, what is happening? He first expands as Balaram, and from Balaram is the expansion that happens of Sankarshana, Aniruddha, Pradyumna, and Vasudeva. And then from that Chaturvyuha, there is an expansion of Narayana, the Lord of Vaikuntha. And from that expansion, we have the secondary Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Vasudeva, and Sankarshan. And from that Sankarshana is incarnated Adi Shankar, who's original Shiva. So actually, systematically, we can understand Vaishnavanam Yata Shambhu. Shiva is the greatest of supreme, most of the Vaishnavas, because he is the expansion of our original spiritual master Balaram. Now, again, dear devotees, Sambhu Tattva is a totally different realm that we cannot get into, because how it comes and what comes from where, all this is a discussion in itself. But again, from a perspective to understand that Balaram is the source of all incarnations, we have to obviously understand, yes, from Mahavishnu, the planets emanate from his body, the universes. He enters into each universe as Garbhodaksha Vishnu, and then he also enters into the heart of each living entity as Shirodaksha Vishnu. So all these various incarnations, if we talk about Makshya, Varaha, Nrsimha, Vamana, Rama, all these are incarnations of that Shirodaksha Vishnu. So in this way, we can understand, okay, from where it all originates, it's all originating from Balaram, who is the source of all incarnations, right? That's the main point. Let's not get into the subject of, help me understand how this is, and this is just a very, very vast subject, meaning it's not talked about in Bhagavatam as greatly, but if you look at Laku Bhagavatamrita, it describes very much in detail. It talks about the personal form of Krishna is divided into two rupas, that is Swayam Rupa and Swayam Prakasha. As far as the Swayam Rupa is concerned, it is that form who remains in the Vrindavan all the time with the Vrindavans, with the inhabitants of Vrindavan. And this Swayam Rupa is again divided into Prabhava and Vaibhava. Now, if Krishna, for instance, we know Krishna is expanding himself in multiple forms in rasa dance. Rasa dance, you see each and every gopi he has an interaction with. And then if you look at his Leela from Dwaraka, there also Narada Muni visited Krishna, right, in different places at Dwaraka. He was astonished. He was astonished to see Krishna being there in each and every wife's house. He wondered how the Lord was present with his queen in each and every one of his 16,100 palace, 108 palaces. How is this possible? With each queen, Krishna himself was in a different form. He was acting in different ways. He was engaged in playing with children. In another form, he was engaged in doing some household work. In this way, Lord was emotionally involved in various forms, which are his Vaibhava Prakasha expansions. Laghu Bhagavatamrita just goes over this in detail, dear devotees. So this is not something that uh, you can expect in 10 minutes or 5 minutes to be able to do justice to understand what Krishna's expansions are and forms are. But the main point that I am trying to tell you is Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. We should understand this. Is quoted from Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. He's Swayam Bhagavan. And from him comes Balaram. And from Balaram comes everything else. That's the point I'm trying to make. And that's the point that is being talked about in the commentary as well. So if you look at his Vaibhava Prakasha feature, the Lord manifests himself as Balaram. Balaram feature is as good as Krishna himself. The only difference is, if you look at Krishna, the bodily hue of Krishna is dark and Balaram is fair. So with this, obviously we with this we understand that Krishna is Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam and Balaram is his expansion. And when you look at Balaram's feature in the Vaibhava Prakasha feature of the Lord manifests himself as Balaram, meaning Balaram is as good as Krishna himself, but when you look at his bodily hue and color, they are different. Now, if you look at Balaram, primarily he is Krishna's friend, and sometimes because he was born 6 days older than Krishna, he could act in a Vatsalya rasa. Sometimes, as we know, Krishna served in the Dasya ras, and then he also served in the Madhurya ras in the form of Ananga Manjari. So Balaram is also the original guru, we understood. So now we understand, yes, our dharma is to serve the Lord and consider ourselves as the servant of the Lord. But because of some ignorance, we don't know how to serve and we want to be served. So now, Krishna, in the form of Balaram, our spiritual master, gives the experience that, oh, yeah, it is much more pleasurable to serve than to be served. This is how I establish an eternal relationship with Krishna. It's really, really pleasurable. Why don't you try it? Right? Uh, Again, while chanting the holy name, it's our duty, it's our prescribed procedure to chant the holy names of the Lord. We have to meditate on our Guru, get our blessings from Guru. Otherwise, we cannot chant the holy name with proper understanding who I am. Right? We need to set that expectation set. We need to have that baseline set. Yes, I pray to my spiritual master. Even when I'm starting Krishna Katha, I pray. I seek the blessings of the Vaishnavas. I seek the blessings of my spiritual master. I seek the blessings of Srila Prabhupada, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In this way, our Mangalacharan is very important. Getting the blessings to be able to set the mood that I am trying to serve the devotees on the call today. It is my duty. Let me speak the right words at the right time. Let me quote everything from the Shastras as is. For that, I cannot do it alone. I need to seek mercy because it comes from our Guru Parampara. That is how the mercy flows. There is a lot of anarthas in our heart, and Krishna will remove if we sincerely pray to them. As you all know, he kills the demons in his Naimitika Leelas. 2 demons are killed by Balaram. Who are they? Venukasura and Prambasura. They should be removed by our own endeavors. But again, endeavor is important. But without the help of the spiritual master, we cannot kill those demons. Venukasura is a manifestation of our gross attachment to the fruits of karma. Working hard is important. Working hard in spirituality is important to remove these anastas. That means what? To serve the mission of our spiritual master. Pralambasura, he manifests the thirst for material relationship. It is subtle, it is very subtle, and it's very difficult to remove. Whenever tanatas are subtle, it's very difficult. And this way, Balaram, we know he becomes heavy. Like that, the spiritual master becomes heavy to help us get rid of these attachments that we have from the material world. And when these anathas are removed, like Dhenukasura, anartha that anartha, what anartha it is? It is the gross attachment to the fruits of the karma. And then Pralambasura, thirst for material relationship, right? When these 2 anathas are removed, what happens? We will be able to taste the sweetness of the holy name. Again, dear devotees, we have so many distractions, so many anarthas that is just forbidding us to be able to love Krishna in a very pure way. Slowly, we have to become conscious of those anarthas. Meaning, we have to first accept, yes, I have this anartha. And then only the step comes to resolve that anartha, isn't it? So please don't be egoistic here. Let's all try to accept, yes, I have envy, I have this, I have that. And then work towards it consciously. Then Krishna will support, our spiritual master will support, the devotees will support. Everything will be for greater good then. Let's all try to work on this mission by being Krishna conscious. Anyways, moving on to the 29th verse. Ihara vyabhara sava Krishna rasa maya, ihane se pile Krishna prema bhakti haya. His dealings are full of transcendental mellows for Krishna. Just by serving him, one attains the devotional service in love of Krishna. Again, if you look at Nityananda Prabhu, the commentary says by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura, what does it say? Since Nityananda Prabhu was always eager to serve Krishna in ecstatic love, simply by serving him, the serving propensity of persons who are thirsty after loving devotional service to Krishna, that will be fully awakened. And this is what will happen. And Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila 5.4 says, all glory to the lotus feet of Nityananda Prabhu, by whose mercy I have attained Sri Radha Govinda. Now, dear devotees, it's very important. Service. This mood of service is just not physical. I mean, of course, you do some services physically, but the mood set is important, right? If you look at the pastime of Ramachandra, we all know Balramji, Nityananda Prabhu, he appeared as a younger brother of Lord Ram, Lakshman. And what was Lakshman's constant meditation? Simply being the servant of Krishna, servant of Lord Ram, wanting to serve. He was so anxious to serve that he was doing all the service. It is described that there is a story of Mother Sita. When she married Lord Ram, she came back to Ayodhya and she wanted to have a nice, intimate, confidential Leela with Lord Ram. And she also anticipated, of course, I want to do nice services for him. But wherever she was, Lakshman was right there. He was guarding Ram with his bow and arrow, and anything Ram needed, he was just there, just before him. He could even think what he needed. And Lakshman anticipated that, yeah, Rama is thinking this, and it'll be right there for him. Just thinking of Lord Ram. I mean, Ram would think, I just want this in his mind. And even without him spurting the word out, Lakshman would go and get it for him. Can you imagine? And Sita was thinking, what is this? I can't even be alone with my husband. I have nothing to do for him. This Lakshman is doing everything. So she approached Lord Ram. She told him, Sri Ram, see, look at this. Please, maybe you can ask Lakshman to do something else and go somewhere else for some time. And Ram was thinking, how can I do that? If I take Sita's side, Lakshman will be angry. If I take Lakshman's side, Sita is going to be angry. So I cannot make this decision in this regard. So let's take this matter to our Guru, Vashishtam. Let's just hear from him. I just really want to stay neutral here. So, and this is, the Guru is making a decision now. It's not easy job. So Ram and Lakshman and Sita all came together before Vashishtam, and Rama said, oh yeah, everyone, both of you tell Vashishta Muni, what is your problem? Sita said to Vashishta Muni, when I married Lord Ram in Mithila, I took a vow, I will serve him 24/7, 24 hours a day. I would never leave him. I would always be in his service. But I'm not able to keep up my vow, Vashishta Muni, because here is Lakshman, he is doing everything. And Lakshman, to his point, he said, Vashishta Muni, from the day I was born, I was serving Lord Ram like this. This is all I know. I have nothing else in my life. How can Sita Devi take away my service? So Vashishta Muni had to satisfy everyone. So he said, expertly explained, whenever Rama is at home in his private chambers, Sita, you should be in charge of his services. And whenever he leaves home, he goes out to fight battles, he goes to the state house, he goes and, goes somewhere, then Lakshman should always be there to serve him. So in this way, Sita was happy, but Lakshman was not happy at all because as Balaram, this is Lakshman. He simply has no other end, no other purpose to his existence except serving Lord Ram, except pleasing Lord Ram. There's nothing else, dear devotees. This is devotional life. This is love. When you don't devote time for anything else but for Krishna, that shows your love. How much time you spend on any kind of a material affair shows how much love you have for that material object or a material position, whatever that is. But how much love we have is shown by the amount of time we spend with that person, amount of time we spend to hear Krishna Katha, amount of time we spend to do service to our spiritual master. So this is very important lesson for all of us, right? The mood of service. And with service, test of surrender comes. It's very difficult to execute the service. We all know the story, right? Ram told Lakshman, yeah, we are in the forest of Dandakaranya and Sita wants me to catch this golden deer. He told Lakshman, you must stay here and take care of her. He was an obedient, of course, Lakshman was an obedient servant. And he said, yes, I will stay here, I will guard Sita Ma. But there came a test. We all know that story. I'm not going to get into the story. There, he was tested. It was very difficult for him to execute the service that was told by Lord Ram because Sita happened to tell something else to him and he had to go out on Sita's order. So this is how when we are doing the service, we will be tested. There will be situations of hard time, but how we respond and react to those hard situations and how, in spite of all the arts, how we perform the service, that is important, dear devotees. Now, problems will come while rendering service, but we have to execute them, however it is difficult. If you look at Ramayana again, there is another story, a very, very interesting story. Um, mm, it is shown as if God is having a problem in Ramayana. Lakshman is God. Poor Lakshman in one sense, he was feeling, Sita, after they destroyed Ravana's army, she was brought back from Lanka to Rameshwaram. And there they had her on a beautiful chariot or a palanquin. They had her on a palanquin. They were bringing her back to Lord Ram in a palanquin. And Rama sees Sita on a palanquin and Rama says, tell Sita should not be in a palanquin. She should be walking. And Lakshman thinks, oh, she's the goddess of fortune. She's the mother of my life. I should tell her to walk. Rama says, tell her to walk. And Lakshman goes and Sita Devi, mother, can you get off your palanquin and walk? She got off and walked. She didn't mind. It was so painful for Lakshman to be able to tell this to Sita Ma. And she comes before Lord Ram after almost a year of separation. You can imagine the grand union between Sita and Rama. And what does Ram do? He says, Lakshman, I cannot take this woman back. She has been with another man. And Sita, when she hears, she starts to weep. She starts to cry. She says, if I knew you didn't want me back, there is no point of me living anymore. And she told Lakshman, she said, I want you to collect wood and make a funeral pie and light it. I'm going to enter into that funeral fire. Lakshman says, you want me to start the funeral fire so you can walk into it? She said, yes. And he looked into Lord Ram. And Ram said, just go ahead. While Lakshman was collecting the wood, what was in his mind? He was weeping, he was crying, he was in utter distress that he had to be a part of this Leela of building this funeral pyre and lighting it up. Now he builds everything up and Sita stands right on the wood and she says, Lakshman, light it. And he looks at Lord Ram. Lord Ram, please tell me, don't light it. Please tell me. He was just signaling and waiting for Lord Ram to tell, oh, please don't do it. And Ram says, light it. You can imagine how hard it is to become how hard he's trying to be a good servant. He lights it. And of course, we all know the story rest. Agnidev proved Sita Devi's chastity and she was proven to be chased by fire. So all these episodes, dear devotees, I do not want to continue. There is more to it. Right? There is just more to it that we could learn. And he was always in a very, very critical position. How can I do this? And when he was asked to take Sita to the ashram of Valmiki Muni, how hard it was for him, Sita Devi, it's like Lakshman, I want you not to say anything to Sita, but you take her on a chariot and, of course, take her to the jungle and I'll be banishing her. Take her to the ashram of, that's what Ram is telling. Take her to the ashram of Valmiki Muni and leave her there. Tell her you're just going to take her on a vacation. She always likes to visit big saints. Now, Lakshman, I have to do this. My God, what a servant he was, dear devotees. It was heartbreaking for him to do this. While he was driving on the chariot with Sita Devi, knowing that she is going to be banished from her beloved, that is beloved Ram, for the rest of her life, he was driving the chariot with tears all over his eyes. He was weeping and crying. And Sita looked at him. Lakshman, what's wrong with you? Why are you crying? We are going for a nice excursion, right? To visit Valmiki Rishi's ashram. It's a very pleasurable experience. And why are you crying? And she could understand. Lakshman had to tell her that I'm taking you because Ram doesn't want you to stay anymore with him. I'm taking you because of that reason. And Sita, with a heavy heart, tears started to flow down from her eyes. If that's the will of my Lord, Lord Ram, then let me be banished. If that is the way that I could best serve him and please him, let me be banished. This is the love of Sita Devi. Imagine, dear devotees, this is just beyond conception, beyond reality for us. Because when it comes to material reality, this is not the way we react to situations. Again, these pastimes are for us to teach us a lesson how we have to excel in service, how we have to excel in the process of devotional service, right? The mood, how, with what mood am I delivering a lecture? With what mood are you listening? This is important. Anyways, that's as far as the verse goes. We will stop with verse 30. Tie the piece of his kopina on his head with devotion and go home and worship with great care. Bhakti kari hana kopina banda shire mahayatne iha puja khara jiya ghare. The 31st verse is a very, very, very important verse. So now Mahaprabhu told the devotees, yes, tie the piece of kopina of Nityananda Prabhu with devotion. Patram pushpam phalam thoy, with the devotion. That is very important. Go home with that devotion and worship it with great care. This is a treasure of your life. This kopina is a treasure of your life that you have got it, and you have to worship it with great care. This is the request from Mahaprabhu. And with this, the 30th verse ends. And as I told you, 31st is very important. There is a big commentary to it. And there is so much that can be talked about as far as the 31st verse goes. I don't think I'll be able to do that because of our lack of time. I'm really sorry about that. Maybe I'll just read the verse and the translation, and somebody can take it forward as far as the commentary goes. It's a very important verse, dear devotees. Paya Prabhu Ragina Sarva Bhakta Ghana Parama Athere Shire Karila Bandhana. Being ordered by the Lord, all the devotees respectfully tied those pieces of kaupina on their heads. By the order of Mahaprabhu, all the devotees tied the pieces of kaupina on their heads, and by the order of the Lord, they took them to the house and they regularly worshipped them with what? With devotion. Again, to get paraphernalia of the Lord, it's not different from the Lord, right? The dust, of course, we know from Antya Leela, the dust of the feet of a devotee, the water that has washed the feet of a devotee, the remnants of the food left by a devotee are all three powerful substances, dear devotees. And there is no possibility of one obtaining devotional service to Vishnu until one is fixed in this understanding that without serving a pure devotee, one cannot advance in spiritual life. This is very, very, very important. Now, do not forget the Santya Leela verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita. The dust, the water that has washed the feet of the devotee, and the remnants of the food that is left by a devotee. That is very, very auspicious. If you have those three, yes, you are getting mercy. Just collect the mercy and do more and more devotional service. All right. So with this, we will pause today's class. And of course, you will relish more of Chaitanya Bhagavat tomorrow with another devotee. Let's end this class with a prayer. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya vasantubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to my spiritual master. Hare Krishna. Thank you, dear devotees.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you so much for such a beautiful class. Thank you so much for the glories of Lord Nityananda and Lord Balram, and how Lord Balram serves Lord Krishna in many different ways. All five rasas you have explained. Thank you so much for many beautiful pastimes, how Lord Balram has killed two demons and what they refer to, everything you have really explained, Mataji. Thank you so much. Dear devotees, we open the forum for the question and answers and realizations. Please go ahead if you have any questions or realizations. Hare Krishna, is there anybody
Mataji,
having any questions? Okay, please go ahead, Mataji.
uh, Mataji, you told that Krishna is Swayam Bhagavan. Yeah, you told Mataji. From Bhagavatam, you told, no? Which was Mataji? That,
Krishna is the Bhagavan Swayam. It is in the 1.3 some verse, Mataji. Let me see. 1.20?
28.
Is it 28? Yeah, 1.3.28. It's a very, very
yes, Mataji.
important verse, Mataji. After reading Srila Prabhupada's purport, try to understand our Acharya's commentary. That forms the basis of our Krishna consciousness. That Krishna is
1.3 dot?
1.3.28.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, is there anybody having any more questions for Mataji? Please go ahead.
Hey Krishna Mataji, thank you so much for a very instructive and inspiring class on the glories of Lord Nityananda. Thank you, Mataji, for your time and association. Thank you. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji, for always enlightening Krishna consciousness in me and giving me an opportunity to
Mataji,
speak.
really nectarian only, Mataji. The way you told, no, very, very nice, Mataji, nectarian, and every past things you are told, no, very, very heart touching, Mataji. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. I have to say all glories to Preeti Vilasini Mataji, because I never would have spoken any word from any Shastras if not for her and Vinita Gandharvika Mataji also. So thank you both for giving me that first opportunity to speak.
हरे कृष्णा HG कस्तूरी गोपी कोटि कोटि दंडवत प्रणाम श्रील प्रभुपाद श्रील गुरुदेव की जय श्री श्री राधा गोपीनाथ की जय अनंत कोटि दंडवत प्रणाम to HH Jai Pataka Maharaj. Yes, Mataji, agree. All the seva is given by mercy of Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev, Shri Shri Radha Gopinath, our Acharyagan, and six Goswami. We should not proud it. When I die, then only bhakti will start. जो मेरे अंदर ईगो है, जब तक मरेगा नहीं तो भक्ति स्टार्ट नहीं होगी. HG Radhika Prabhu yesterday told that some devotees are doing so nice kirtan, some are cooking, some are making garland, some are repairing Tulsi Maharani's spot. But हमें यही सोचना है कि ये तुलसी महारानी की मर्सी, गुरु एंड गौरांगा की मर्सी से मिली है. वी आर नॉट क्वालिफाइड फॉर any service. Srimati Shri Radha Rani, Srimati Shri Sita Rani, and Hanuman ji is sitting our tongue and they speak Krishna Katha, Krishna Katha, Krishna Katha. And when our japa is, we do japa attentively, then only हम जो बोल रहे हैं उसकी इफेक्ट आएगी. इतना अच्छा लगा, जैसे लग रहा था कि सीनियर ब्रह्मचारी गोपीनाथ में बैठे और बोल रहे हैं. प्लीज गिव योर एसोसिएशन एवरी वीक माता जी. I know you are working by Gopinath Mercy. Shivani also come in California for job. Please pray for her. Koti koti danvat pranam to your
Beautiful
sincere
news.
seva.
Oh, great
Jai
news,
Jai
Mataji.
Nityananda,
Wishes
Jai
to
Jai
her for the
Gauranga.
best.
And by Krishna's mercy, the partner are not vegan. They are not eating outside food. So she started cooking Gopinath Prasadam. All
Oh.
mercy, Mataji, all mercy of Guru and Gauranga, and whatever सेवा हमने सच्चे हृदय से तपेला भर भर के प्रसाद बनाया, आपने प्रीचिंग किया, प्रीति विलासिनी, कीर्तिदास सुंदरी माताजी, वृंदास मदर, जो भी सेवा करते हो वो गुरु गौरंगा की मर्सी से करते हो, और वो ही साइलेंट ब्लेसिंग से माताजी जपा अच्छे होते हैं। एंड क्या बताए, वो हृदय में एक अलग सी तृप्ति होती है माताजी, वो दिखाने के लिए सेवा नहीं होती है, पर हृदय से जो भी छोटी मोटी सेवा कर पाते हैं माताजी, it's directly effect to our japa, and because of the strong association of guru साधु संगा समर में यहाँ पे बहुत सारे महाराज और ब्रह्मचारी आते हैं। by Gopinath mercy, trustees coming regular in the temple, so able to attend all class. All mercy of नित्यानंदा एंड गौरांगा, श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलराम सुभद्रानी के आशीर्वाद आप पे बने रहे। और प्लीज माता जी, आपके बेटे बहुत अच्छा आप लेके जाते हैं क्लासिकल म्यूजिक में, भजन मैंने सुना है, बहुत अच्छे वैष्णव सॉन्ग गाते। मिक्स मोर स्मॉल वीडियो एंड शेयर इट विथ ऑल वैष्णव। प्लीज फॉरगिव मी, टेक 1 minute more.
Sure, Mataji. Thank you so much, as always, for your inspiring words at the end of the class. Really, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna. And somebody has asked in the questions, could we have the reference for the Vashishta Muni pastime that I quoted? This came directly from our lotus lips of His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj Swami. I can definitely let you know, Mataji. Okay. I don't know if anybody has any other questions.
Hare Krishna, the devotees, anybody having any more questions for Mataji? Okay, if not, we can end the call here. I would like to offer my obeisances to Mataji and all the Vaishnavas assembled on the call. Vancha kalpatarobhyasya kripa sindhubhyev cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namo. Ananta koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. HG Radhika Kasturi Mataji ki jai.
Thank you. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Jai Srila Prabhupada. Thank you.
Jai.